Hey guys, good morning. Good morning. Who's on the call today? We're on Facebook Live. Let's see. I'm setting it up so I can upload to YouTube a little bit later, so we got the recording that's easy to find and all of that good stuff. So, how do you start your morning? I feel like this is like a big deal for a lot of agents. I think most agents just kind of roll out of bed and just just kind of like hope things kind of happen. They don't really have that morning routine. And I was kind of looking through some of my notes and stuff, and I was kind of looking, hey Robert, how's it going, man? So do you tell me, how do you start your morning? Like, what's your morning routine? And hey, other people that are on the call here. Hey, Philip. Hey, man. So how do you start your morning, man? So I was just kind of thinking about this morning. I was thinking about like times that I've been most productive and times that I really, my production's been really shitty. And I was thinking about, like my mindset and all that stuff. And I feel like starting that day and getting going, man, is like the cornerstone of it, right? Like like if you wake up and you immediately deal with like bullshit problems, or you immediately deal with something that's like super negative, it kind of sets the tone and makes you have like a bad day all day. You know, I was looking through some of my notes, guys. I have a notebook, so when I'm like watching YouTube videos, like I go to a live seminar, I hear something really interesting, I'm reading books or whatever, I like make notes and stuff. And I was going through one of my notes and I was listening to this Tony Robbins thing, and it was talking about priming your day and taking like that 10 minutes to get started and get going and to get everything in order. So Robert, I'm doing good, man. Hey Daniel, hey Tina, thanks for being on. So if you guys like these live videos like I done yesterday and like the one this morning, do some hearts or just put in the thing that you really like it, and give me a little bit of feedback because I'd like to keep doing them. I think it's like pretty cool. But yeah, and my morning is like so Tony Robbins said you have to prime your day and you have to spend at least 10 minutes doing it. Everything you do in the morning from the moment you get up is a habit. And he also goes on to say that you need to review your goals every day because you become what you think about the most. You know, um, and I really believe that. I believe that like some of us, we get stuck on like crazy things in our mind, right? And we start, whether it's we believe we're a bad person, whether we believe, you know, whatever, um, it starts to become reality. If we believe we're a bad real estate agent, it isn't going to be long until, like, if we keep telling ourselves that, if we have a spouse, a significant other that keeps telling us, oh man, you're like such a bad real estate agent, you're really bad at this job, it isn't going to be long until we actually start believing those things. So my morning typically, like, I feel like my schedule's been a little bit off because, as some of you guys know, especially you guys in my group coaching, man, I had this crazy thing. So I rented this office space, and I was at one end of the building and things were good, and I was there for like a year. I moved to the other end of the building and I started having like these crazy like allergy issues that start progressing, and it becomes like asthma issues, and then it keeps progressing until, like, man, it's like finally I had to do something. So like 3 or 4 doctors later, I realized that I'm suffering from mold exposure, and since I've been doing that, or since I've had that going on, so I moved out of the office. But since I've had that going on, like, man, my energy levels like just starting to return to normal. So it's been taking me like typically before, pre mold, I'd get up like 5:30, 6 o'clock in the morning, and like typically my day would start like I would listen to something kind of motivational. I'd listen to something that was like at least mentally stimulating. And I really like Tony Robbins. I really like Brian Tracy. I like Gary Vaynerchuk, but I'll tell you the truth. Sometimes I listen to him and I get tired of like the whole work thing. Because I don't know about you guys, but I don't really want to work 24 hours a day. It might seem like that sometimes, but man, I'm not like when I was younger and I'd make calls, like when I was 24, 25, I was like a grinder. I could sit there and just grind through 8 hours of calls a day. and it would just be painful. You know what I mean? And but since I've got older, that was at 25. At 37, it don't work that way for me anymore. I'm not a grinder. Like I go through short bursts of like massive activity. And it works really, really well for me, and it works really well for my personality. Um, and I think that that's like something that a lot of agents miss. Sometimes we get burnout because we're making 3-4 hours of calls every day. Sometimes what we need to do is take massive action for like 2 or 3 days, burn ourselves out over 2 or 3 days, then take a day or two off from it. But my morning routine when I felt like I was more productive was I'd get up like 5:30, 6 o'clock in the morning. I'd listen to something motivational, usually 30, 45 minutes, drink some coffee, hang out for a little bit. And then, I'd be at the office like 7:30, 7:30. Um, Lately, I feel like, and basically then I would get on the phone, and my typical like phone calls was I'd check zbuyer. And guys, I tell you what, my group coaching people that are subscribing to zbuyer are crushing it. They're having like massive success with it. And zbuyer gives all you guys a discount. So, but I check my zbuyer. I check the for sale by owners. I'd log into RedX. I go down through Craigslist. I try to get all the for sale by owners, try to knock them out. zbuyer, for sale by owners, then I'd start on expireds, and pretty much in that order. And that would last for like 2 to 3 hours, just depending on the amount of calls I set or the amount of appointments I set, and what reactions I'm getting on the phone. Some days I'll tell you, some days you get beat up on the phone, and it sucks. But some days you get on the phone, it's like, man, dude, everybody's answering, everybody likes you. You know, um, hey Miriam, hey Michelle, hey Michael, hey Brian, what's going on, man? So, but hey Kevin, thanks, man. Hey, if you guys like this video, just comment or share it for me. But yeah, so I think your morning routine is really, really important, because, and one of the reasons I always tell agents that they have to start making calls in the morning is because you just got to do it. Okay, let's say for example, if you don't, let's say for example, you change up your schedule and you're doing something from 8 to 9 and you're not starting your calls until 9. What typically will happen is something will get in the way between 8 and 9 o'clock, and that'll change your mindset. In the morning, like this sort of video is like really easy for me. I'm really positive. At 7:30 in the morning, at 7:30 at night, maybe I'm not so positive. It's been a long day. You get beat up a little bit, and that's something like I've learned about myself, is that like prospecting, you got to start at 8. If I say 9, what'll happen is, like I got some guys working for me on some rental property and stuff that I have. And what'll happen is I go, oh man, I need to run to Home Depot and just get this one thing. It'll be really quick, and that 30-minute trip turns into, a 2-hour ordeal. And then next thing I know, I miss my whole prospecting time. And, so when I'm most productive is when my morning routine is solid and I'm going through that same motion every single day, and that those same motions, those same activities that are putting me in a positive state of mind. So hey Julianne, hey Ryan, hey Frank, dude, I hadn't talked to you in a while, man. You got to give me a call, Frank. But you have to, you just have to go through that same step, and I understand like some people, you got to take the kids to school and they got to be there at 8:30, so you can't really get started on the phone at 8. But you can take the kids to school at 8:30 and you can get started at 9. That I don't feel like that's unreasonable at all. But taking advantage of that time in the morning when you have the most energy and have the best mindset, and looking for those things you can put into your mind in the morning to have that sort of mindset is, I think, is like really, really, really crucial. Tony Robbins said in this video, he said, we have to be results oriented, and I really believe that we have to look at what results we're getting. We can't look at like the things we're doing so much. we have to look at the results we're getting from those things, you know? And you have to look at the results over a period of time. You can't look at the results over like a 30-minute block or an hour block, you know? And I think that's what some of us try to do is we try to look at our results over a really short amount of time versus the long term. And that short amount of time might be, maybe it's a day, or maybe it's a week, you know, and I've seen agents do that. I've seen agents do that with a lot of things where they'll subscribe to a lead service or they subscribe to something, some method of something, a coaching program, and they work really, really hard on the coaching program. They work really, really hard on some activity for like a day or 2 days, and they go, oh, this doesn't work. But the thing is, if they'd hang in there for just a little bit longer, they'd actually see results, and they could judge results over, say, maybe 2 weeks, you know what I mean, rather than 2 hours. And but we have to be results oriented, and I think that we have to be results oriented during our day, because our day is, every day we all start at zero. But one of the other things he goes on to say is make a daily list, pick out the number one activity that's most important, and that's the thing that you start like ASAP. Once you finish your morning routine, you start that thing ASAP. And I will tell you, that's like one of the things I've been really good at is like having a to-do list. For a while there, like I'll tell you when I felt like I was most productive, like a few months ago, I was tracking all my daily activities, which seems absolutely insane. I had a notebook and I was literally writing down every single thing I would do during the day. And that notebook sometimes, man, would be sometimes the notebook thing would be kind of insane, because it was literally, I was writing down micro things like 7:15, talk to so-and-so for 5 minutes. I was writing down things sometimes that didn't make a lot of sense and seemed like really, really micromanaging my day. But the thing was, like, writing down my daily activities and writing down on that level kept me, it kept me motivated. Well, number one, it kept me motivated, but it kept me accountable. Kept me accountable to what was happening, because we all do stuff like this where we go, oh man, I want to do, I got an appointment at 9 and it's 8:30. So what we end up doing, we got 30 minutes of time that honestly we could probably knock out 2 or 3 or maybe 10 things off our to-do list. But instead of doing that, what we end up doing is say, oh, I'm going to get on Facebook for a few minutes, or, oh, I'm going to do this. And basically we just kill that 30 minutes of time. And that 30 minutes of time is during the workday. And writing down that stuff and writing down those things on that really, really micro level kept me really accountable to my day on just a whole new level. And man, I was getting so much done and stuff. And like I said, like I'm getting back into the swing of things. I'm getting my energy level back and stuff after that whole mold issue and all that stuff. And I'm planning on starting to do that again. Like some days though, I tell you, like the hardest thing dealing with that, it wasn't like the asthma or the allergy problems. The hardest thing was like, was dealing with the energy level decrease, where it was like, man, I just, some days I just felt like, Jesus, I'd get home like 2:00 and I felt like, man, I just need to lay down on the couch for a couple hours. And normally, like, I'm like 2:00, we're still in prime time, you know what I mean? And dude, Matt, for you guys that don't know this guy, Matt Doby, he just commented here. Matt is crushing it. I think Matt, you told me your goal was something crazy. I don't want to like call you out. You told me your goal was like $60,000 this month in real estate commissions, and it's like 80,000 next month or something crazy like that. Dude, this guy is crushing it. But hey Arthur, hey Matt, hey Tatiana, hey Carla. So what's your morning routines look like? You guys give me a couple of them. Let's see. Tina put she wake up at 4 and went for a 5-mile run walk and getting ready to head to the office. It's only 7:30. Dude, Matt just got $60,000 in his pipeline and he busted it. Dude, that's awesome, man. That's awesome. Dude, I like hearing about that too because you're making calls too, man. You're making calls. I see it. I see it in group coaching, dude. You're crushing it, man. I tell you what, like April was like a big month for a lot of my group coaching people. Gosh, Aaron closed like 3.4 million. You did 60,000, so you closed like 2.5 million. Um, that's crazy. Joe Skirkis is in there, and Joe's in a brand new market. He's only been in business like up there in Pennsylvania for like a month, and I think he's listed three so far this month, and I mean he's like in a brand new market. So, dude, that's it, man. Coaching is the key. Coaching helps like shorten that learning curve, but like professional and self development. And I'll tell you guys that too. Like when I've like consistently worked on something like every morning, like before I got started for work, it was like personal self development, whether it was reading 20 minutes in a book, watching that 20, 30-minute video. And I actively like worked on like personal self development. Um, I felt the same way. I felt like my productivity like skyrocketed and my motivation too. Like I've learned too that when I do that in the morning, like I'm super motivated. But when I don't do it for a while, like I lose some of that motivation. Sometimes it's like, oh man, well, like yeah, everybody. I think everybody's the same. I think the worst thing that like a lot of real estate agents can do is have a really good month and look at their checking account balance. You know, and Tatiana, that's an amazing goal. Tatiana said, if you guys listen on YouTube, she said that she told her parents that she needed an accountability partner. If they help her, then she'll pay off their car loan balance, which might be like $20,000. Dude, that's like amazing. And you know what? Here's a crazy thing about the real estate business is you can have like $20,000 worth of debt, and honestly, you can have like one good month and knock the debt out. I mean, I'm such a big believer in that that most real estate agents are literally like 30 days away from being where they want to be. Whether it's in life, whether it's getting caught up on their mortgage, whether it's getting whatever it may be. I really, really believe that most real estate agents are like 30 days away with a solid plan, and they can be where they want to be. You know, or they can at least make a lot of progress getting to where they want to be. And that's the great thing about the business. Like I remember I was working with this guy. This has probably been 10 or 12 years ago. And this guy, I mean, we had this. I was working for Keller Williams at the time, and we had this team leader, and he was a great guy. And but sometimes like during the team meetings, it would get a little bit weird. It'd get real huggy and stuff, and it basically they would this guy stands up and he was thanking the team leader. He was so appreciative. He talked about how he was 6 months behind on his mortgage. He was in foreclosure. He owed the bank like 10 grand. And literally the guy that was the team leader had helped him come up with a plan. They'd sat down and the guy had two sales. That's all it took was two sales. And he went from being like 6 months behind on his mortgage in foreclosure to literally, being back in the black again, pulling his house out of foreclosure, things going well in life. And Tatiana, you know what? I've had that same thing. You know what I mean? I've had that same thing with the whole mold sickness, and I've been sick for like 3 months. Um, the thing for me, that's kind of like got me back motivated again was sitting down writing down my goals again. Sometimes we got to review our goals. Sometimes like we set a goal 6 months ago and it's 6 months have passed. Maybe we hit the goal, maybe we didn't hit the goal, but sometimes you just lose interest in a goal. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, there's things that I talked about wanting to do a year ago that honestly, like, I have no desire whatsoever to do about it. And That's where I would probably start, Tatiana, is like writing down goals. What do you want to do? Do you want to pay off your house? Do you want to pay off your parents' car? The whole mold thing, dude. I would tell you guys the truth. Like I'd been in houses and stuff, especially during the foreclosure boom. I'd had a little allergy, but like I wasn't sure that the whole mold thing was real until like I experienced it myself over like last 3 or 4 months. I was that person like, oh man, just wipe it off with some bleach and water to be good. And like I just didn't really see where like sometimes it was a big deal. I'll cut out that sheetrock and let's move on with life. And like I was just talking about a few minutes ago, the hardest thing is like getting your energy level back. That was for me anyway. Like, dude, I'd leave home, 9 o'clock, go out, work, do a few things, run some errands, do like the stuff that I had to do, and then I'd literally, my energy level would be at zero. So, yeah, David said his significant other works nights, so I take care of getting ready, drop off um, kids at 9 o'clock. So I start prospecting at 9:30. Love to work out early, but I can't leave the house for my runs, rides like I used to. I need to get that back at home. Yeah, I feel like I need to do the same thing, man. I need to get in a regular routine of like physical activity. Um, I feel better and I feel like my mind's clearer when I do that. So, Tatiana, like a good plan for prospecting, a daily plan for prospecting is to do it first thing in the morning. I mean, it's just to get up and at 8 o'clock, be on the phone. And I think that you got to do that. So I think you got to, and I think you got to do it like first thing in the morning too. If you don't, you're gonna lose. You're gonna lose interest. Other things are gonna get in the way. Your energy level goes down. So Matt's want to hit 100 sides. You're in a tough market too, man. That's the thing that's like fantastic about what you're doing in your progress, man. Charleston's a tough market. It's a tough market. There's a lot of competition. There's a lot of smart competition down there too, man. Um, Not that there's not in other markets, but you know what, man, that's great too. Matt's doing a split shift, prospecting 2 hours in the morning, 1 hour in the afternoon, and dude, I think that's fantastic too, man. I think that's fantastic what you're doing. You want 2,500 plus in the next year, dude. You can do it. You're in a market, you can do it. Like there's some markets that doing $500,000 transactions just isn't realistic. Like 10 of them happened last year. Um, so, but you're in a market where $500,000 isn't really a big deal. It's kind of a pricey market, especially dude downtown, man. Downtown Charleston amazes me. Like the prices things are going for. Sometimes I wonder what like those people are doing. Like I know a lot of it's like old money in Charleston, but some of it's not. Hey Derek, man. Hey, I hope things are going well. So, guys, what things can I help you with? I got like 5 more minutes here. What things can I help you with, like with your morning routine, with problems you're having in your real estate business, with just stuff. Dude, I tell you what, I set alarms for myself in the morning. Like I got a 6 o'clock alarm, a 6:30, a 7, a 7:30, and 8. And it's not so that it's not so that I can hit the snooze button and not wake up. It's so that I'm time blocking my morning, and I'm not I'm not just really struggling. So zbuyer, I tell you what, zbuyer, the thing about zbuyer, and I'll tell you guys the secret that are that's listening to this. Um, it's the deal with zbuyer is okay. Number one, like I started subscribing to it years ago, and I started subscribing to it for the seller leads, and and I really like the seller leads. And later on, they added buyer leads and stuff like that, and which was really cool. Um, because it was kind of like it was kind of like a bonus, but I'm really not interested in working the buyer leads. Honestly, I can't tell you what really happens with those. So zbuyer is a program where they operate We Buy Houses websites. So guys, if you check the website before you check the if you check the website before you check the app, you don't wait on the app to notify you, you'll get the leads like 4 hours early. And here's the crazy thing, like even in my market, when I was really calling them heavy, I've slacked off lately because of that whole mold thing I've had going on. But the thing about zbuyer is you got to be the first person to get to it. Number one, you got to use a script. You got to understand where they're coming from. They filled out a form looking for a cash offer on their house. Lots of times what they're looking for, like 90%, 95% of fair market value. At least that's what I see. Now, here's the crazy thing. Out of 17 people in my market, I only hear one guy's name often, um, which leads me to believe there's only one person really calling them, or maybe some of the other people are cherry picking. But I kind of see that with a lot of stuff. A lot of agents will subscribe to a lead source, then they never call the lead source. You know what I mean? Yeah, Tatiana, I got a script that I'll send you for zbuyer. And the thing is, it's the script and it's the way you're setting up the call. But I got a script. Actually, it's on my YouTube channel. If you just go to YouTube and search Jason Moore's zbuyer script, I got like a whole channel there, where I got like 10 or 12 videos on zbuyer specifically. But yeah, you got to be on top of those, and you can't call them and you can't go, hey, do you want to list your house? Hey, this is Jason Morris. I'm calling you because you came to our website, um, and you want to list your house. I tell you what I'll do. The script. What I'll do is I'll post the script. Um, I'll post the script for you guys so that you can kind of see what it is, because I got a video where I go like in depth and in detail with it, which is really cool. And you guys that are listening to this, zbuyer gives this group a discount. So just tell me you're in real estate agents to really work. Jason Morris sent you. You'll get a discount on it. And but yeah, you got to follow up like crazy. The old leads are good leads. The old leads are gold. A lot of people like discount the old leads because they say, "Oh, it's 2 weeks old." But here's the thing, maybe they filled out the form 2 weeks ago, maybe they filled it out 3 months ago, and they really just wasn't ready then. You know what I mean? So, and it happens. I mean, we all do that sort of stuff. You're shopping around, you're thinking about selling, your house, and so you just fill out the form. It's kind of crazy, but hey, thanks, Derek. I really appreciate it, man. I'd like to do more of these things in the morning. Um, I think it's cool. Like I want to create more content, and I want to create more positive content. So if you guys have some topics like you want to hear, you want to talk about, especially dealing with like mindset stuff, um, let me know what it is, and that way we can kind of dig kind of down deep into it, or we can talk about it some in the mornings. And but guys, hey, I got to run. It's 8 o'clock. I got to get to work. So guys, I really appreciate you guys being on the call today. Hey, if you're interested in zbuyer, tell them I sent you. They give you a discount. You can go to Jason Morris, zbuyerdiscount.com. You can check on what the price is from there and all that stuff, all that fun stuff. Guys, I got a lot of stuff on my my YouTube channel that I don't really ever talk about anymore, but I got like 350 videos on there. So just search as Jason Morris Group on YouTube. But guys, I hope you guys have a fantastic day, and I'll talk to you guys soon.